Jeremy, you were
On
talking
it.
before the show about Victor Wembanyama, who's, really hijacked.
Amazing.
He's hijacked the conversation, and I got to tell you, I've been right about the kid.
How?
Dead on. I told you this day would come, and I was fearful of this.
Is it that he broke basketball? Because there was a stretch there where you were saying he wasn't good and he was just tall.
They're losing a lot. They're not. They're not.
The only reason they're winning any games is because of everything that Victor Wembanyama does. He is one of the most unstoppable forces in basketball, and at this point, I'm convinced that next year he'll win Defensive Player of the Year. He won't win it this year because he's a rookie, but next year he'll win Defensive Player of the Year. And basically, the year after that, moving forward, he'll be in the MVP conversation every year until he decides to retire. There's a stat here. Victor Wembanyama is the first player ever to have these numbers in a season. 150-plus blocks, 150-plus assists, and 75-plus threes. It's February.
I have another stat on Victor Wembanyama.
That's a really good segment idea. Jeez.
Since 2024 started, Victor Wembanyama has 74 blocks in 22 games. He's averaging 3.2 blocks per game. He has more blocks, than the entire Miami Heat team has since January 1st.
Yep, very tall.
68 blocks in 23 games for the Heat, 74 blocks in 23 games for Victor Wembanyama.
Super tall guy doing super tall things.
Yeah, but he's so talented, Mike. Like, he is going to change basketball, and it might not be for the better, as you mentioned.
No, he's going to destroy it.
You don't like it.
The only thing saving the game of basketball, the only thing that might potentially save the game of basketball is Liz Frank. She is our only hope.
Horrible. That's horrible. I don't like that you said that.
She's our only hope. Pablo, where do you fall when it comes to this Victor Wembanyama discussion? Because I was fatigued of it before it became a thing, and just dimensionally, he's a huge problem. He obviously is skilled, and credit to Pop, he finally figured out kind of how to play him. He was trying to do too much early on, and I think now he's kind of found a groove, and he's doing some more of the exciting things, but he just really struggled to acclimate to just being tall. Just go be tall for a little bit, and they did alter their game a little bit, and now he's taking over games. It's not resulting in wins, but if he stays healthy, no doubt he is going to be a force.
Yeah, look, I have PTSD from just big men getting injured. So the whole plantar fasciitis, Liz Frank thing is real. I am very glad to get to watch him now. I am glad that his teammates are they're no longer ignoring him when he's rolling to the basket at 8 feet tall with an open lane, and they're giving him the ball now more, it seems. My favorite things about Wemby, though, are how he is he's the sort of exotic where the very basic details about him have become part of his mythology. Like, he goes to bed at 10:30 to read books, and he enjoys books. And this is part of how he is hailed as this new creature from outer space. And so for me, I enjoy the sort of just dissonance of this guy seems un-NBA while also embodying the future of it. But I mostly am worried that he's going to, snap an ACL. I'm in that camp, Mike.
Why wouldn't you assume that, just given the history of tall people and their feet in that sport, especially when someone is this tall, doing things that we don't typically see people this tall do. But he's been incredibly healthy. Right. Throughout his very young career.
And he's been praised for the ways in which he's anticipated all of this, right? He's not naive to this. He has a trainer that has done these exercises, these stretching exercises. You see him doing yoga, specifically because of all of these concerns. And so the fact that he has not gotten hurt yet, the fact that they've load managed him in this way, all speaks to that recognition. But I did a story once for Sports Illustrated about the afterlife of 7-footers. And I hung out with a bunch of dudes 7 feet tall and up. And the actuarial chart on their lives, which is tragic, right? I won't be a bummer here and just name all the guys who've died that I interviewed or got brutally injured because of various medical maladies. But in terms of just the fact that you can't do this for very long, that's the part where Joel Embiid is absolutely figuring into the conversation. Because Wemby, look, what Wemby was supposed to be is what Joel Embiid was this season before he got hurt. And so I just hope that we get that.
Always goes back to the Sixers.
Nobody's doing it with blocks.